Level 60, Shades of Shatoto. Lalai is eyeing you expectantly. Ah, Zillia, I'm glad you are here. I would consult with you about a matter that has been gnawing away at my mind. Thanks in no small part to your efforts, the books of Nalthal have at long last been reunited in these halls, their long-lost secrets just waiting to be unearthed. I have scarcely begun poring over the tomes. I have already made a most remarkable discovery. Each of the twin tomes contained a cipher of sorts, a meaning of which only be deciphered when the two are referenced in tandem. I will spare you the details on how I unraveled the message, though it truly was among my finer moments, if I dare say so myself. At any rate, the words, once decoded, are most evidently an incantation, albeit one entirely unfamiliar to me. Beneath it was writ a simple directive. Heir to the dark arts, speak these words unto Nald's reflection, that memories long forgotten may stir anew. As to what precisely these words are referencing, your guess is as good as mine. Still, Master Kukurika doubtless preserved the incantation and the accompanying message in his records for a reason, and if we are not the heirs to the art of black magic, then who is? So I trust I can expect to see you at Nald's reflection, and do try to hurry. Yes, I would prefer not to delay any potentially epoch-making discoveries any longer than necessary. The Eastern Thanalan, right? Southern Thanalan, okay. Duty calls. Commence battle for Shades of Shatoto. Level sync in effect. Level 62. Proceed. And that is all you need know. When I give the sign, you are to chant the words precisely as I instructed. Understood? Now, Zilly. That light. You, yes, you shall serve as the bringer of destruction. As for my vessel, yes, that one should suffice. Ooh. Whatever was that strange sensation? For a moment, it was as if a great fire burned within me, and then... now it is as if my very mind is being rent in two, and this voice... Well, well, it feels good to walk the earth for the first time in 2 millennia. Seems that old coot proved himself useful after all. If he hadn't kicked it, I'd find him and give him a pat on the back. And what are you gawking at? You are a black mage, are you not? Surely you possess the common sense to recognize the woman who stands before you, or will you be needing a hint? Some would call me Death's Handmaiden, but I always found that particular epithet so needlessly morbid. Though technically speaking, I am but manifestation of a memory. You may call me by the name I used in life, Shatoto, at your service. But I jest, of course. It's you who are at mine. I must say, what is it with black mages today in these unwieldy hats? Do they truly believe it makes them look more imposing? Or are they merely compensating for something? In either event, I have no need of such adornments. Now that's more like it. Zilly, was it? Of course it was. Now that we're on a first-name basis, you have to tell me all about yourself. On second thought, let's skip that. Time is short, and to be quite honest, I don't particularly care. At any rate, as I might have mentioned, I am not the true Shitoto, as she once lived, but rather a manifestation of her memory, my memory. Needless to say, that still makes me the most powerful sorceress currently existing in your world. You do well to remember that if you ever have a mind to cross me. Well then, now that we've gotten the pleasantries out of the way, what do you say we have a little fun? Prepare to be blasted into a gazillion itty-bitty pieces. Oh, come now. Must I spell everything out for you? I must know if you are sufficiently adept at the dark arts to help me forestall impending doom, and this is by far the easiest way to do so. Not to mention the most fun. Prepare for a world of pain. Yes, we fight. Am I supposed to just focus her, or like, see what it says? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I gotta get rid of the summoning circles first. Making me run around a lot is not great. Got it. Okay. That's a lot of running around for a Black Mage quest. Or was I supposed to put him to sleep? Like that imp. Thaumaturgy. Not half bad. That painfully dull expression on your face had me worried, but I suppose you'll do after all. Do? For what? Try to keep up, will you? I abhor repeating myself. Let me start at the beginning. 2,300 years ago, the greatest mage our realm has ever known, that would be me, compiled a choice assortment of the most potent offensive incantations and evocations into the school known as Black Magic. You still seem puzzled. I also devised a spell that would allow my memory to one day return. My reasons were twofold. For one, I simply had to see for myself how the art of destruction would be handed down eras after I had inevitably passed. For another, I knew that without my guidance, this realm would one day meet most certain... Oh, this won't do. I had thought the girl stronger than this, but these eyelids grow heavy and my consciousness wanes. I suppose I'll just have to take a little nap. But remember this, my puppet of destruction. You have an important role to play in the battle to come, the battle that will decide the fate of your very world. Till next I wake, shirk not your study of the art. Where are we? It is as if I just woke from the strangest dream. And yet my every limb aches, as if my respite were more exhausting than the fiercest of battles. Did you perchance observe anything odd happen to me? Yeah, possession. A lot of possession in the Black Mage job line. Preposterous, or so most would say, but you have no reason to tell me falsehoods, and it would certainly explain the curious symptoms I find myself experiencing. Shototo, the mother of our dark art, she who pursued the power of destruction to and beyond any limits that could be conceived, has her consciousness truly taken up residence in my own mind? It is no use, I call out, but she does not answer. Whether she slumbers or simply deigns not to answer, I cannot say. I fear I am at something of a loss. Let us return to the Sacrarium and clear our heads. Mayhap the answers we seek will yet reveal themselves to us. Alright, well, that was something. I'm afraid it's no use. I have called out to Shototo within my mind time and time again, but I am met only with silence. If only Master were still here. Surely he could shed some light on the matter. After all, it was he that recorded for posterity the words we used to summon forth Shototo's memory. Wait, that's it. Master himself may not be here, but his writings may yet contain the answer to our queries. It was within the statue of Null that the memory slumbered. This does not strike me as mere coincidence. I believe that settles it. I will return to the tomes and see what knowledge can be gleaned, that we might prepare ourselves for whatever task awaits us. This holds for you as well. Whatever Shototo's motives for returning to us, cannot shake the feeling that ill happenings are afoot. I suggest you resume your studies with the utmost urgency. Next Black Mage quest will be available from Lalai upon reaching level 63. Level 63, Golem's Gone Wild. Lalai would share with you the knowledge she has gleaned. Ah, good for better or for worse. It would seem Shitoto is still enjoying herself a peaceful slumber. In the meantime, my study of the books of Thal has proven rather enlightening. In particular, I was surprised to learn that while the statue in Nald's reflection is relatively recent construction in historical terms, of course, the goblet it holds in its hands is quite ancient. It would appear that it was within that vessel Mistral Shitoto's soul was sealed away. Master's record goes on to state that the inner surface of the goblet is inscribed with a message in the glyphs of ancient Mach. It reads, ah, yes, here it is. Power of destruction did rend the baleful star, and peace doth reign near and afar. Yet 23 centuries hence shall it come anew. Certain doom is sure to ensue. Prophecy of sorts, it would seem. It has been roughly 2,300 years since Shitoto founded black magic, which means it is entirely possible she herself left the inscription, but whatever sort of doom could the prophecy be referring to? I fear it is all rather cryptic. Lalai and Zilly as well, I would speak with both of you at once. Ahem. While I would like nothing more than to catch up on old times, I come bearing grave tidings. My friends, pray lend me your aid. Well, if it isn't our favorite Gubu-headed hero, I would have thought the seventh hell would freeze over before you cast your lot with purveyors of destruction. What have we done to deserve the honor of your groveling? This is no time for jest, Lalai. The situation is most dire. Why, a veritable horde of crazed golems has burst forth from the Lost City and is wreaking havoc on the Twelveswood even as we speak. Whatever foul sorcery led them to abandon their orders and run rampant, we cannot say, but one thing is certain, if we do not deal with them and do so swiftly, there is no telling what damage they might inflict upon our forest home. It does sound like cause for concern. Very well, I suppose it would not kill us to put the matter of Shitoto aside for the moment and... Wait, no, not now. I say, how can the girl think straight with this ungodly fool's cap weighing her down? Or perhaps she can't, and that is why, but of course, it all makes perfect sense. Oh, hello there. Did you miss me and my prodigious intellect? Of course you did. Now, look, we haven't much time, so do try to keep pace. Surge of Ether, just who or what are you? Yes, I'm sure there's so much you'd like to know, but where would that get us? I've already heard all I need to know through the girl's ears. We are needed in the South Shroud. Yes, rampaging golems, was it? Indeed, I have tasked a whaler named Alphine with looking into the matter. With any luck, he has gleaned some knowledge which might avail us in plotting a suitable course of action. Alphine, South Shroud. Yes, I believe the great Shitoto has all she needs. Well, come now. No point in standing around like gawping gubus. There's work to be done, right? Right? Shitoto. Zilly, I am most grateful for your aid. Do not get me wrong, but if there's anything that you and Lalai have been keeping from me, mark my words, I will hear of it full when our task is done. South Shroud it is. Oh, I don't know which one. We go to Quarry Mill, and if we need to go elsewhere, we'll fly. Of course it is. Oh yeah, well they did say it was going to be in the Lost City, so. M4. Many trees. We do an instance in Andapur. There's some golems. Welcome, friends. You come seeking news of the golems, yes? Would that I had any to give. I fear not a single one of the creatures has manifested itself before mine eyes. So you say, my good man, but it is possible that you not see the trees for the forest. Sometimes that which we seek is right before us, and we need only attune our vision. Why, is it just me, or do I spy a number of curious stone structures peeking out from the brush? Yes, I have an inkling that our foe may be hiding in plain sight. But just how is one to distinguish living stone from the more ordinary type? Why, I do believe the former would take far less kindly to being scorched with a burst of hell's fire. So the plan is clear. Yes, let's get blasting. Yeah, I keep running into trees. Damn that. Blame the hell out of me. Okay. Look at that. At least it wasn't like an instance where it was going to take forever. That was fun, wasn't it? Now, while I'm not wont to repeat myself, it seems I should make an exception for the slower members of our band. You have the privilege of standing before the Archmage Shitoto, or rather a memory of the same, which is awakened after years of slumber to rescue your realm from a fate most dire. Slower. Ahem. Lady Shitoto, if that is truly who you are, I cannot deny your arcane prowess, and yet there is much about this matter that does not sit well with me. Pray explain yourself. What is this dire fate of which you speak? Oh dear, you really aren't very smart. Very well, I shall begin from the very beginning. Dear me, did I almost rhyme? Who does that anyway? Anyhow, the tale begins some 2 millennia ago when the great civilization of Mach was still in its infancy. The scholars ascertained that a mighty comet, awash with unspeakable ethereal energy, was on course to strike our fair home and reduce it so much rubble. And so I thought to rectify the situation the only way I knew how, by blasting the foul rock out of the sky with the most powerful, destructive magic our realm had ever seen. This, more than anything, was what spurred me to developing the art of black magic as it is known today. Needless to say, my plan was a remarkable success. A massive chunk of the comet was shattered, knocking it clear off its path and sending it spinning harmlessly off into the heavens. The story, however, does not end there. Fragments of the meteor hurtled to and embedded themselves in the earth. While small enough that their impact caused no significant damage, they remained beneath the surface, brimming with etheric energies, just waiting to be unearthed. Needless to say, these otherworldly stones drew the attention of mages far and wide who sought to claim their powers for their own. These are the stones that gave the golems their souls, by whose powers many a city-estate flourished. And yet these stones held yet further secrets. When 2 of them were brought together, they would call out to one another, either reacting to ether to augment their mutual powers to still greater heights. Mind you, the power of mere fragments, even in a heightened state, would be far too meager to be cause for concern. One threat, however, still lingered. What if the comet, the mother stone as it were to return, its circuitous orbit, bringing it in shouting distance of our world once more? Would not its remnants, its children, summon it hither in all its destructive glory? preposterous. Did your vaunted black magic not knock the comet clear across the skies? Why, it is simply inconceivable that its new path would bring it around back in our direction. Inconceivable to feebler minds, mayhap, but not my own. In fact, I posit that the comet is drawing nearer every moment, and it is very reason that the golems are now running amok. If left unattended, the implications for this world would be calamitous indeed. Fortunately, you have an ally in the impending battle, a prodigy who foresaw the danger that was to come and sent her memory into the future that she might return to save the day. Do you mean to say that you predicted that this threat would come, over 2,000 years ago, mind you, and devised an incantation for the sole purpose of allowing you to return to us in our time of need? I do believe I've already said precisely that. Of course, I did not do it entirely on my own. This spell would have been lost to history if crazy old Kukuruka hadn't dug it up when he did and recorded it for posterity. Dear little Lalai and Zilly also played their parts as well. Oh, how wonderful it is when one's followers, against their natural tendencies perhaps, manage not to make an utter mess of things. I must admit the whole story still strikes me as a bit far-fetched. I mistrust neither your motives nor your skill, Lady Shitoto, but as a hero charged with the protection of this wood, I cannot leave this matter to you alone. I will accompany you and offer what aid I can, but first let us return to Ul'dah. I will hear more of the plan you propose before we take action. Must you? Very well. Just promise you will not get in our way. Now come along, my puppets. I have a realm to save, and you're going to help me. It's very verbose. There's a lot of dialogue. The talking and the talking. Getting hit with a lot of bots today. The hero assures me that there have been no golem uprisings elsewhere, and since he is clearly too thick to tell a convincing lie, I'm inclined to believe him. This means that we still have time to form a plan of attack. I do pride myself on my honesty, and so I will be honest with you when I say this. Your art is, to put it kindly, not looked fondly upon in our day and age, and your story stretches the limits of believability. We cannot stave off this calamity alone, but any entreaties you might make are not like to find a receptive audience. I, on the other hand, have friends in positions of some prominence. I shall reach out to them and see what aid they are willing to offer. How charming. He actually thinks he might prove himself useful in your spare time. Might you not ask your astrologian friends if they have any recent calculations on the comet's path? I have no reason to doubt the accuracy of my own, of course, but I was working off 2 millennia old data. As you wish, forgive me for being forward, but might I inquire as to the well-being of our mutual friend Lalai? She is still in there somewhere, yes? Oh, she most certainly is. Worry not, the girl's consciousness is just enjoying a short respite. Which reminds me, I really am due for a nap myself. Be a dear and do try not to let things go to hells in my absence, will you? Shitoto, mother of the art that brought the great floods upon us, has she truly returned to deliver us from doom? The progenitor of our esteemed art has chosen me as her vessel in hopes of saving our world from falling star. I can scarce imagine a greater honor. Come, we must put our minds together and figure out how we might best do her bidding. Wait, Lalai, if we take her words at face value, Shitoto has only the realm's best interest at heart, and yet I, for one, remain skeptical. Which is not to say I doubt her intentions, or yours for that matter, and yet we speak of the founder of the very art which gave rise to the War of the Magi and the Sixth Umbral Calamity. Could it not be that even in seeking to save our realm, she is like as not to destroy it? Blasphemy! Why, Lady Shitoto had long since passed when the war broke out. Only a blind, blustering half-wit would even think to hold her responsible for, though when I put it that way. I understand this, and that is why I begrudge neither you nor her my aid, such as it will serve to protect the realm's peace. At the same time, I intend to keep close watch on her. One can never be too wary, after all. In any event, I will gather what knowledge I can of the threat we face, and I would be most grateful if you could do the same. Might I suggest speaking with your Beastmen allies, if the idea has not already occurred to you, that is. I swear that man's head is made of harder stone than any golem. Still, at least he is cooperating with us, which is progress of some sort. In any event, I will reach out to our beastmen friends. I encourage you to return to your studies in the meantime. If one thing is clear, it is that the task ahead will test us to our very limits. Oh, there is just a lot of talking in this one. Good lord. Level 65, when the golems get tough. Alai has gleaned new knowledge that may serve you well. I trust you have not been shirking your studies. Mistress Shitoto expects much of us, and I would not disappoint her. For my own part, I have called out to her intently time and again within my mind in hopes of conveying any and all knowledge that I might avail in staving off this impending disaster. Though she does not respond, I have the distinct sensation that she is listening in some way or another. Doubtless she will return when she sees fit, but in the meanwhile we can ill afford to bide our time, and so I have taken Zai Naha's advice. I can just see the smug grin on his face as I say that, and reached out to our friends. Not moments ago, a post-Moogle came by with a missive from our friend Dazah of the 269th Order. As luck would have it, seems he has knowledge that might serve us well, to wit, reports of recent sightings of rampaging golems. I would ask that you go on ahead and see what he knows. I will call for that holier-than-thou hero and join you shortly. Not that I am enamored of his company, far from it, but his insights have proven to be not altogether useless on occasion. Revenant's Toll. I don't know if we'll get another one done today. Here's the thing, I just want to see where the hell he is. We go further out. Okay. Huh. Need a larger map, I suppose. Down here. It's like hidden in the bushes. Why do they always stick them behind buildings? Like, they always do that. It has been eons, eras, ages, eons. I have heard that the spirit of the legendary Shitoto comes alive again inside the lie, but could this be Wonder's tale possibly be true? It is indeed, friend Dazah. She is capricious type, though, and wakes only when she has a mind to, a fact that I have explained some 700 times to this mutton-headed hero, who still insists beyond all reason that I should be able to summon her at will. You do me discredit, Lai. I merely suggested it if there were some means by which we could summon Shitoto at our convenience. Rather than waiting for her to come forth of her own accord, it might serve us in facing the dangers ahead. Summon her? You speak of the illustrious founder of my art as if she were a mere serving girl. You will watch your tongue in the presence of your betters. Lose my voice doing this one. I meant no disrespect. I do not deny the power of your art, nor the good it can do in the right hands. I am simply... too stubborn and stupid to fully accept it. Oh well, I suppose none of us are perfect, myself excluded. Of course, 269th Order Mendicant Dazah, I presume, tell me all you have seen or heard about this rampaging golem. Are my eyes to be believed, trusted, sworn by, believed? Is this truly the great Shitoto who stands before my eyes? Yes, yes, it must be. I mean, but of course, my lady, yes, Dazah will tell you all he knows. I saw a strange golem, odd, curious, strange, wandering in the tangle, and that is not all. It's no ordinary golem, no, but rather the same one I saw in a tome handed down from my forebear Dagu, a golem of ancient Mok. One of my own creations? Why, that is simply inconceivable. I designed him to be utterly rampage-proof and left copious instructions to ensure that my loyal apprentices, and their apprentices, and so on and so forth, would see that they stay that way. Mayhap your followers were not so diligent in carrying out your orders after your passing. We all know of the chaos and destruction wreaked by Maki sorcerers during the War of the Magi. I suspect that poring over age-old documents on the upkeep of golems was the least of their concerns. Forgive me my doubts, Lady Shitoto, but you seem quite partial to your creations and your countrymen. If we were to find ourselves locked in combat with a golem of Mok, do I have your assurance you would not hesitate to strike down our foe? You do not trust me, trust us. This I know. I am not deaf to Lalai's ceaseless grumbling. So be it. You cannot help being a simpleton, no more than I can help being the greatest intellect of any era. That old Kukuruka told me what became of Maki after my passing when he communed with me a century ago. Do you think I deny the senseless destruction caused by my descendants? With the art I myself wrought, no less? Of course not, for I, unlike some of my present companions, am not a bloody fool. But even a fool must understand that a tool is only as good or evil as she who would wield it. So answer me this. What could I possibly stand to gain from standing idly by as my own creations wreak havoc on the realm I once called home? I will grant that there is some sense in what you say. In any event, we thank you for your assistance. Dazar! Rest assured we shall see to the rogue golems before any harm befalls you and yours. To the Tangle! Does the Overdweller never lighten up? It must be so tiring living each day carrying around a brain of solid stone. Burdensome, wearisome, tiring. You can say that again, my synonym amusing friend. Zilly, you know the man better than I, and for that I pity you. Is there nothing we can do to buy ourselves a moment's respite from his inane quibbling? Whatever do you suppose is bothering his puny mind? He is simply in awe of your power. Mayhap he worries for Lalai. Yes, I have observed this as well. Smaller minds are quick to burden themselves with hand-wringing concern for the well-being of others, as if it were not evident that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. In either event, if he insists on tagging along with us, I suppose it would not hurt to win him over. Only so he does not foul things up at the worst possible time. Anyhow, I do believe we have some golems to smite into oblivion. The Tangle, was it? I'll see you there, and do try not to get lost on the way. Ooh. Oh, the Tangle's further south. I thought the Tangle was like here in Revenant Soul. Yeah, there it is. Like it wasn't showing up. These lands were far more dry and agreeable in my day, but I suppose much can change in 2 millennia, especially without me around to keep things in order. This is no time to get caught up in nostalgia. We have golems to smash and search for. Not necessarily in that order, I suppose. Yes, I can sense particularly strong etheric energies coming from that direction. I will accompany Shitoto to ensure that she remains focused on the task at hand. Might you survey the area south of here? These environs afford our foe no end of hiding spots, and I am ill-inclined to walk into an ambush. Long way around. You look far and wide, but can discern no sign of golems, rampaging or otherwise. Return to the southwestern reaches of the Tangle and see how Shitoto and Zai now high fare in their search. Found that one. If only this body were my own, I would have razed that oversized block of stone to the ground. I suppose I should thank you for coming to my aid. Had I lost consciousness in the midst of battle, I would certainly have been done for, and poor Lalai with me. No, Lady Shitoto, it is I who owe you a debt of gratitude. Had you not drawn the creature's initial strike, I would surely have met an inglorious end, but that is not the least of my failings. It is my fault, and mine alone, that we were caught unawares. Though it shames me to say so, my eyes were on you when they should have been watching out for our enemy. Who is this sorceress who wields such frightful power? Does she truly mean to save our realm, or will she destroy it? These thoughts continue to haunt me, but no more. Seeing you risk your life for me, a humble hero you have only just met, I say this with no reservations. You are a paragon of virtue and a model to all mages, white or black. Why, I do believe those are the most intelligent words I've heard you utter yet. Keep talking like that, and I might yet learn to tolerate your presence. But if you think that means I'm going to give you your precious Lalai back, you'd best think again. We still have a falling star to fend off, do we not? My precious Lalai, I have not the slightest idea what you might be implying. You wouldn't, would you? Was it not your grand dream to see the white and the black, the arts of healing and destruction united for the common good? So says Lalai at the very least. Is the girl not an invaluable piece to your future, you would realize? This is all well and true, but invaluable and precious have different connotations. Mayhap not in your time, but the meanings of the words evolve over time, you see, and what I am saying is, of course Lalai is a friend and ally, but the same could be said of Zilly here, and which is to say I do not want to see her again, of course, only that... Oh, never mind. At any rate, I do believe we've done all we can here, Lady Shitoto. Please forgive me for having doubted you. Henceforth, I promise that I will aid you in whatever way I can, and with that, I do believe we must be off, somewhere. One last thing, if I may, Lady Shitoto. While you are awake and speaking with us, what becomes of Lalai's consciousness? That is to say, is she still in there listening? What a curious question. She is slumbering in the recesses of her mind, much as I am when she is awake. But to answer your question, no, she is not listening, though we do have some rather stimulating conversations from time to time. If you'd like, I can share the details. No, I mean, never mind. I really must be getting off to... Right, that place I was going. Are all men in this era so odd? At any rate, I feel my consciousness beginning to wane. Lalai will be waking from slumber ere long, and I would return to Old Da before she does. I suggest you do the same. Your friend has much she wishes to discuss with you. Great. Back to Old Da. I have to destroy a comet. Welcome back, Zilly. As you might have surmised, it is I, Lalai. Mistress Shitoto returned to her repose not moments ago. Before drifting off to slumber, she imparted to me some details regarding what she sees as the next phase of our task, to which she would have us venture further afield to investigate any golem menaces that might be stirring out of Aishan. Speaking of menaces, whatever became of that stone-headed hero, I suppose it is too much to hope that Mr. Shitoto finally set his robes alight. He has come to respect Lady Shitoto. He seems to have feelings for you. I will assume I misheard you, Zilly, on the off chance I did not pre-inform the man that he had best not act upon these feelings in my presence, lest I feel like scorching his precious flowing locks from his scalp. Anyhow, I trust you will keep me informed if our hero friend exhibits any more impertinent behavior. I will think of suitable retribution. I dare say putting him to sleep and hiding his glasses would send a clear message and be rather amusing, no less. In any event, I should return to my research, as should you. Shitoto will doubtless call upon us before long, and our powers must be primed for the occasion. Level 68, Unnatural Selection. Lalai would seek your aid in doing Shitoto's bidding. Zilly, the moment you entered the room, I could feel the air crackling with etheric energy. Excellent. Your diligence and your training will surely serve us well. And you come at a perfect time. Not moments before you arrive, Shitoto's voice called out to me from the recesses of my consciousness. She would have us begin to lay the groundwork for the final stage of her plan. As she made it quite clear that we will require all the aid we can muster, I have taken the liberty of reaching out to our beastmen friends. They have convened at Kazakh Cha's residence in Burgundy Falls, where they await our arrival. Let us not keep them waiting. Burgundy Falls? Where's that? I guess that's in Bannerlin, Eastern Bannerlin. Yeah. Training. Coming down. The wood. My friends, thank you for coming together on such short notice. Mistress Shitoto would have you know that she is most grateful for your cooperation. In fact, I do believe she would rather speak to you directly. Well, it would seem the gang's all here. I dare say it's time we got this proverbial show on the road. Hero, tell me that you've made yourself useful since I last saw your vapid face. Hi, Lady Shitoto. According to my colleagues in the Eorzean Alliance, patrols have sighted an increasing number of rampant golems afield. Fortunately, none have posed a significant threat, at least not as of yet. Which brings us to the matter of the comet. A colleague of mine at the Observatorium has confirmed that it draws nearer with each passing hour, though there is no immediate danger of a collision if it stays on its present course. It is too close for comfort, yes. Fortunately, I, as is my wont, have a plan. I simply hope that you, my friends, are up to the task. If the hero speaks true, the golems that have been causing trouble near the city-states have been more bark than bite, felled with no great difficulty by middling soldiers. From this I surmise that the gems set within them, their soul stones, have been small and of meager power at best. And yet, if my theory holds, a more sinister threat lurks in the realm's far reaches, far from the prodding eyes of the Eorzean and beastmen alike. This is where we must go. Perplexed, Dozal is, profoundly, deeply perplexed. By people to do the work of people, are golems created? To travel so far from their master's domain, these constructs have no reason, true? Is this not? Well, I'll be a passably astute observation, but I fear your knowledge is lacking, my squawking friend. Golems come in all shapes and forms, and not all are wrought by the hand of the mortal creator. Often a gem of sufficient etheric power will attract all manner of matter, plant, mineral, and animal alike, spontaneously animating it and giving rise to new life. With naught to guide them, these feral golems rove and wander at will. It's these unpredictable specimens that pose the greatest danger. The larger the gem that serves as their soul stone, the greater their power, and the greater their threat when the comet draws nigh. It would appear our task is clear. Let us split up and hunt down these abominations. I shall join our beastmen friends and make for the west. I will leave the eastern reaches to the two of you. I trust you will be able to fend for yourselves. There is one matter in particular I would ask you to investigate. My friends at the Alliance conveyed to me a most curious report, which Lady Shitoto's words just now put in a rather different light. Over in Girabanya, in the hamlet of Alagana, villagers have claimed sightings of, in their words, trees that walk like men. These have gone entirely uninvestigated, written off as the delusions and fantasies of superstitious common folk. But if Lady Shitoto speaks true, which I do, they are golems beyond the slimmest shadow of a doubt. Worry not, for Zilly and I will uproot them and reduce every last leaf and strip of bark to smoldering ash. Won't we, Zilly? I will leave the particulars regarding the means of destruction to the experts. I have, however, procured a link pearl that we might better coordinate our efforts. Pray take it with you. And with that, I do believe we are as prepared as we could hope to be. Let us be off, my friends, and remember, should aught go amiss, I am but a link pearl call away. Device to allow that pretentious pudding head to talk to me even if I'm 100 miles away. Far be it from me to scoff at technological prowess, but some inventions really could have been done without. Aladana. How interesting. While Mach has devolved into vermin-infested bog, Girabanya is, if anything, looking more lively than I remember it. Not that that's saying much, of course. But look at me, getting all nostalgic for no reason. After all, my body has long since returned to the dust, and soon even my memory will fade. But before that, we have a job to do, don't we? I can sense no unusual etheric presence here, so let us venture a bit further into the field. Come along now. Alright, where do we go? The wood remembers. You come upon any wood golems? As you can see, these two had the misfortune of coming upon little old me, but that is not all I saw. Yes, it was a most remarkable and most horrifying sight. After I delivered a mortal wound to one of the creatures, I saw it extend a gnarled limb and, with the last arms of its strength, tried to rip the soul stone from its cohort's chest. Yes, it would seem these feral golems have no qualms about cannibalizing each other, which has led me to quite a frightening conclusion, to wit. Oh, of all the... whatever could that four-eyed fool one at a time like this? Yes, if you have something to report, make it quick. What? Yes, it would be wise for you to make a discreet retreat. We will do the same. I would reevaluate our options in light of these most troubling developments. Very well, I will join you at the observatorium shortly. Do gather all the information you can from your colleagues before I arrive. Gods be good, that hero has actually proven himself useful. It would seem he came upon a most startling scene in the hinterlands, a mass influx of golems of all shapes and sizes, as if summoned from all reaches of the realm by some unholy force. I have my own theory as to what this means, but I require more knowledge before plotting our next step. One thing I can say is that we should immediately begin preparing for the worst. In any event, we must move, and quickly. You return to Burgundy Falls and apprise the beastmen of where we stand. I shall go on ahead to the observatorium and see what knowledge the astrologians have gleaned, and join you as soon as I am able. Burgundy Falls. We shall call it Eureka. How's our job? Friends, comrades, brothers and sisters of the Black, we stand at the brink of a disaster most dire. Even as we speak, our foe grows in number. Beings of sentient stone and wood gather, summoned by an unknown force and united for a common purpose, a purpose beyond our understanding. Beyond your understanding, perhaps, but not mine. The golems make for Salmal. In Girabanya, I witnessed a most unsettling sight, a golem with an almost animal fury tearing into its cohort's chest. Disturbing as it was all too clear what I was witnessing. The creature sought a stronger soulstone, and that it might augment its strength and prolong its own existence. But the power these creatures seek is not limited to that which they can harvest from their own kind. No, they are forever in search of a more potent etheric source, and they have finally found one. Astrologians at the Observatorium have confirmed my worst fears. The baleful star of our past slowly but inexorably changes course, bringing it closer and closer to this star. It is as Lady Shitoto says, the golems call out to it, beckoning it ever closer. According to the latest calculations, any further adjustments to its path, and it is all but certain to strike Eorzea head-on. Baleful creatures would climb the highest peak in the land and summon their mother stone to bring disaster to our realm. Inconceivable. And yet it is just so, my friend. Unless we destroy the lot of them, a collision is all but inevitable, and yet there are simply too many. Even if we could thin their ranks, they would regrow themselves and regroup in no time. So we are done for, doomed, defeated, done for. Do not give up hope, my frenetic friend, or do you forget that the most brilliant mind to ever walk the face of Eorzea stands with you. Allow me to propose a foolproof plan. We do absolutely nothing at all. For now, that is. We know that the golems are feeding on each other in pursuit of greater and greater power, so why not sit back and let this process of unnatural selection take its course till we are left with but a single foe? Fuck, out of her mind, Shitoto is. Were that to happen, a creature of untold power and puissance that golem would be. Quite so, it would be the mother of all automata, the golem equivalent of yours truly, if you will, and by definition one of the most formidable foes our realm has seen. Fortunately, I do believe there is one among us who might stand half a chance against such a monstrosity. Silly, Lady Shitoto insists that you hold, nay, you are the key to this entire operation. I am not inclined to doubt her, but I would hear it from your own lips. Can you say with all certainty you would emerge victorious over the hypothetical golem of mythical proportions? Yes. Thank you, my friend. Your courage inspires me. Pray let me offer my strength, that together we may secure the future of our realm. I doubt Zilly and I will have much need of your services, but do feel free to tag along. It would be my honor, and with that I should take my leave. I must warn the people of nearby settlements to keep a wide berth at the Great Peak. Mayhap I will even have occasion to smash a golem or two on my journey. Color may impress, Zilly. Your friends are proving more reliable by the minute. With that, I should return to the Sacrarium, for my grip on consciousness grows more tenuous by the moment. Pray return when you can, and speak with Elia upon her awakening. Back to Ul'dah. Ah, Zilly, I have called out to Shitoto, but to no avail. No doubt she is deep in slumber, gathering her strength for the battle to come. I did, however, leave a message for you. Slack not in your training, my puppet of destruction, for your powers will be tested as never before. That is not ominous in the least, now is it? In any event, I trust you will be up to the task. Level 70, one golem to rule them all. Lai is steeling herself for the final confrontation. Bow. Enhanced Enochian. You gonna have Enochian? Zilly, I trust you have prepared yourself well. Our foe musters at Annex Trine. The hour of our final confrontation is nigh. The hero and our beastmen friends are en route to the Forelands as we speak, and I would join them with all haste. Come as soon as you are able. Shitoto will be awaiting your arrival. Yeah. Oh. Always like the last one. Why, thank you so very much, Lalai. What with my own corporeal form having long since faded to dust, it is an honor and pleasure to see my legacy carried on by women, men, and beastmen after my own. Oops, was I just speaking aloud? Stop gawking any time now, or have you forgotten that we have an army of power-hungry golems bent on destroying our realm to dispose of? Fortunately, I have already formulated the perfect plan of attack. You three will see to the stragglers still attempting to scale the mountain. I trust you can handle that much. The hero Zilia and myself will scale the summit, where the oversized augmented agglomeration of golems surely awaits us. If I may be so bold, Lady Shitoto, I would proffer a small amendment to this plan. Sumall, as you already know, is a holy place to all the dragons who call this land home. I am ill-inclined to wage battle without first obtaining their blessing. Elder Cecilier has told me that Zilia has a friend among their kind. Mayhap it would be best if she sought the counsel of this Vidofnir before we proceed. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's hardly the worst idea I've heard today. After all, it could hardly hurt to add another powerful ally to our ranks. What are we waiting for, then? Lead the way. Talk to Vidofnir. Go around this way, maybe. Unholy menace doth gather in our midst, threatening to summon doom from the heavens down upon this realm, such is thy plight. I too did sense the presence of an intruder on our sacred home. At first I was content to observe, but the danger hath grown too great. Warrior of warriors, if thou and thine would take up arms against our common foes, thou dost have my blessing. That's a ringing endorsement if I've ever heard one. Hero, send word to our beastmen friends. We commence the operation at once. There's no time to lose. Let's make for the summit and dispose of the abomination that awaits us before the comet gets too close for comfort. Duty calls. Commence battle for one golem to rule them all. Level sync in effect. Proceed. Level 70. Understood. Pray leave the rest to us. Lady Shitoto, my colleague from the Observatorium has confirmed your suspicions. On its current path, the falling star will sail wide of us, by the slimmest of margins, and yet the path shifts with every second, bringing us slowly but inexorably to the brink of calamity. Call it a hunch, but I do believe this imposing fellow might be responsible. I'm glad to see the obvious hasn't escaped you. At any rate, our task is clear. We need only reduce him to dust before he can summon his dear mother any closer. Well, are you ready to stand alongside the greatest mage to ever live in a battle for the very future of your world? Look sharp. This is our time to shine. stop the comet? Victory is ours. I only pray it does not come too late. Perhaps if you had some black magic in your repertoire, but it is no matter. I have the utmost faith that Zilly and my efforts were not in vain. That light, the 12 have mercy. Here it comes, and there it goes. And with that, my friends, I do believe we've been spared a most crushing fate. Xantal, Zilly, you and I just saved the world, and I suppose I should thank you as well, Hera, for doing a most remarkable job of not mucking everything up. With that, I believe my work here is done. While I'd love nothing more than to stay and savor our victory a bit longer, all good things must come to an end. Don't look all sad now. With such promising protégés to carry on my legacy, I can go to rest knowing that I did not mother the art of destruction in vain. You have seen our art wielded for the greatest of good and the worst of evil. Having witnessed firsthand your prowess and the sheer strength of your resolve, I gladly leave the future of our art in your hands. Walk the path well, Zilly of the Black. Oh shit, Toto, there's no place like home. That millennia from now, when we have long since faded to a dim memory, those who follow in our footsteps may yet wield their prodigious powers against any who would bring harm to our fair realm. Be proud, Zilly. Having shared a mind with Mistress Shitoto all this time, I can assure you that effusive praise does not come easily to her lips. I can still scarcely believe she did me the honor of choosing my body as a vessel. Before meeting her in the flesh, in a manner of speaking, I had assumed Death's handmaiden was little more than a witch obsessed with fire and destruction. It would seem my impression may have been an error. May have been? Does your prudish, pig-headed prejudice know no end? As charming as ever, I see. I dare say you could learn a thing or two from your esteemed forebear on how to treat a gentleman. Oh, is that so? Zilly, if you happen to see any gentlemen around these parts, do let me know. At any rate, we are done here. Let us leave this uncultured boor here to reflect for a bit on how to treat a lady. Okay, where's Cousin Chop? The outside? Never make anything just... Okay. Gonna drop me off in front. Many golems did come to scale the peak, but they come no more, laid low by our magics. The heavens, too, are calm. I trust your battle with the great beast ended in victory. Just so, my friend, not to boast, but even Lady Shatoto was most impressed with our efforts. Is that not so, Zilly? 3 cheers for Shatoto, 3 cheers for Zilly, 3 cheers for the art of destruction. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Far be it for me to rain on your parade, but let us not forget that the healer in your ranks played at least a small part in your victory. Walk, a happy day this is. Fly home to share the joy with his brothers and sisters, Dozle will. You will visit Dozle again to share magical learnings, yes? Till then, friend. I too must take my leave, but know that even when we are apart, we always stand as one. Till next we meet, my friend. I too must return to Gridania to deliver my official report. I suppose this is farewell, at least for now. Well, don't let us keep you, though. I was wondering if you might express my gratitude to your colleagues at the Observatorium on behalf of Mistress Shatoto, that is. Leave that to me. I fear not all of my friends are so open-minded. If they were to learn I had allied myself with beastmen and practitioners of the dark arts, there is no telling what sort of twisted rumors might spread. Fear not, Lalai. You have my word that as a hearer and healer, I will do all I can to work toward a day when you and your fellows can stand proud and receive credit for all the good you have done. I could not bear to say this in his presence, but our hero friend has come quite far, wouldn't you say? I too would do everything in my power to make that day a reality. And with that, I do believe our job here is done. Shall we return to the Sacrarium? Oh, duh. Nice, we have 3 job quests knocked out in a day. Still have a lot to do. Welcome back, Zilly. Once again, I must express my gratitude for all you have done, as well as my profound respect. You have mastered our art to a degree that few of us have attained. While it is not like me to dwell on such matters, I was just reflecting on the hero's words. Once again, the truth of the battle we wage will never be known to those we fought to save. Needless to say, we do not do what we do for accolades or glory. We do it because it must be done, and to sate our own intellectual curiosity, and yet it does not sit well with me. Now, I cannot just turn a blind eye while the deeds of my friends and mentors are swallowed by history, never again to see the light. When the day will come that we can emerge from the shadows, I cannot say, but for that day and for the eyes of all who would follow in our footsteps, I would put all I have seen to paper, just as Master Kukurika once did. All we have learned of our realm and the arcane, of course, but that is not all. I would write of the bravery of our beastmen friends, of a stubborn and self-important hero who, against all odds, proved himself a friend. Most of all, I would write of the illustrious founder of our glorious art and the adventurer who she would personally entrust to carry on her legacy. Why, I dare say the chapter will write itself. Level 70, 1 golem to rule them all complete. Communing with the memory of Shatoto awakens new knowledge of the Black. This concludes the Black Mage quest for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. Shadowbringers registered service account must have completed main scenario quest Shadowbringers. You must have completed the role quest A Tearful Reunion. Once you have done so, the next Black Mage quest will be available from Lalai. Alright. Place elemental.